Good evening, my YouTube family. This is your host, Aaron here. This is Times with the Narcissist Explained. Tonight, I have a voiceover video for you all. I want to talk about the herd mentality and how it affects people on a daily basis and the behaviors that comes with that mentality. But first, we're going to look at the definition of the herd mentality. It says here in the Merriam-Webster website, it says the tendency of the people in a group to think and behave in ways that conform with others in the group rather than as individuals. Rather than as individuals, right? Now let's look at some examples of the herd mentality. Here we go. One example is when a peaceful protest turns into a riot. It is a prime example of a herd mentality. Many of the people who participate in the violence would never make such a choice on their own. They wouldn't cause a riot on their own because uh, once the crowd of their peer acts this way, they join in without thinking twice. Because the crowd of their peers start to act this way, they join in on it. That's quite interesting to think about. It's almost as if, they're being robotically controlled to just do it, and let's look at some dangerous challenges that people have done, like the crate challenge. That's an example of a herd mentality type of thing where people would stack these crates up and walk on top of them and try to make it to the other side. I've seen people get broken arms from that, cuts, bruises, nasty injuries when people tried to participate in these kind of things because it was so popular and people didn't really care about the dangers of it. They just went along with it. That's one of the examples of the herd mentality is through different challenges that people do on a daily basis, right? There's another challenge called the Tide Pods challenge. All right. They say the Tide Pods look pretty cool. They have the same bright colors you typically find in popular candies, but you'll see kids being peer pressured to eating one. But people have gotten hurt dealing with the Tide Pod challenge, right? Let's look at another challenge, the Bird Box challenge. When the Bird Box movie came out, literally people was walking blindfolded into traffic. You can't make this up, man. Because it was popular, the herd was doing it, so they followed along with it. Let's look at another challenge. There's another challenge called the NyQuil Chicken Challenge. Basically, they would take chicken breasts and drench them in NyQuil. And they say this is dangerous because they would boil the chicken with the NyQuil to cook the chicken. But the chemicals in the NyQuil were extremely dangerous, potentially fatal, especially if you inhale the fumes. People have gotten hurt because of these kind of things, right? Here's another one. It is called the Hot Pepper Challenge, the Ghost Pepper Challenge, the Trinidad Moruga Scorpion Challenge. They say they try to make it seem like it's reasonable, but the severe stomach pains and what it does to the digestive lining of your stomach when you eat these hot peppers like that, it causes it says here headaches, seizures, and anaphylactic shock. Whew. So you got people out here that eat extremely hot peppers as a challenge, because they see other people doing it and it's popular for content, for clicks, for views, things like that. There's another one called planking. This one kind of disappeared off the internet, but people used to plank on the most randomest places, and people have been hurt doing the plank challenge, planking off of kitchen counters, planking off of roofs, planking off the edge of buildings and stuff, and the high rises and stuff. People did all kinds of crazy stuff. Another herd mentality that, down here in Florida, the spring, going to spring break, you know, A lot of crazy stuff happens during spring break down here. I wouldn't recommend people come down here to celebrate spring break because it's really a free for all, and this is why they don't want people to come down because it gets really reckless, right? The hot girl summer thing. That's her mentality. You know, if women actually sat down and think about what they're getting themselves into, they will save themselves and they will save their bodies from getting caught up with a lot of spiritual forces that wants to take them. You know, but these are examples of the herd mentality. I hope y'all enjoyed the content so far. And listen, I love y'all. Y'all please be safe out there. And remember, be yourself. If it looks dangerous, don't do it. The herd mentality has gotten many people messed up.